political updates.
Akugamba nti Sunday today your Attorney General Kiwanuka is meeting people who claim to have bought the tax park. I wanted to read in one of my books to tell you how the whole thing operated. The president directed that it was not a policy of NRM to sell public places like markets, tax parks to businessmen. And the Orania committee recommended compensation for people like Basajja Balaba, Kano Mujenyi, all of those who had bought markets. Jeno Mugere, I think Brigadier Mujenyi. Oyo no musajja kale. Kajina yali aganya okupangisa ekizimbe kye. Oyo musajja omumanyi. Mugenyi akankana bwati. Mugenyi challenges you. How? Nagamba mbuga wano. Nemugamba nti mbuga don't complain to people that you don't have money.
Okay.
Bewaleka wano bakoze iki?
Bayina ki?
Oba gwe gwe basiba. Bazisaba gwe. Bobo babeera mukomera bakola ki? When you go to this man, Gon Mugenyi, you wonder nti kajina yali ajje yinula mu kizimbe ekyendoozera yagijja mu afe. Andizi balokole. Omusajja oyo ye yasooka okutegulira bbomu mu Kampala. Mujenyi ngalina embadi ono amekamanyi ngambadi junior we bagenda e China because the Chinese technology at that time was crude nakubwa nervous system.
Okay.
Singa government yemwene sente n'okwera abaana
compensation kuba nti yali.
Yes.
Okay.
Naye yakola ne company n'emirimu tebagiwa kagina yali amugobye mu ekizimbe not because Yinula has constructed a building to go to another place so that this man dies.
Alimubanga afuna akasente kali kabadde afuna.
Namugamba to embarrass these people, write a book. I will come here every good Friday. Onyonyoli to embarrassing abantu bano. This man you see there was a nice looking young man and some man who trained in detonating bombs to help Uganda najja mu nervous system.
Okay.
The exercises he does a day, the money he spends would be incurred by government. Olumala okujoga ne badduka olumala okujoga ne bakanywa kasasira ate paka lwe bali kujjayo bakunaazeeko bye bakujoga ate okomewo.
Let's come back tumalize ensonga ya paka tugende ku issue.
Kankugambe nti nawandika akatabo kano but am I seeing properly? Nawandika akatabo kano nakatuuma Baganda and the politics of wheelbarrow pushing. You see, in all government scandals, Uganda are the casualties. In the construction business, when we are constructing a building, the people who die normally are the wheelbarrow pushers. The engineers.
Bayinga tebabeerawo.
Olumala okujoga bane bali sente ne badduka. Ono nasali, ono mbuga, ono was acquitted, Gondi, engineer byandala. Ono Kivumbi bamala omugoba nti abyate ne bamugoleza ne bajja babbiremu kakati are they two Kivumbis, the one you sacked and the one you accorded kuba babbiremu sente za State House tekasa omukolo baguyingiramu bagula omukyere naki ono Lukwago bamugoba mu Ministry ya Health bayingiremu battiremu abantu is a lucky man bamuwako obutwa
ngagwe
Lukwago was poison Lukwago agenda naye omukazi oyo akulo alla kyavudde amugalamiza ku ttaka alifa yafadda arrested Lukwago on allegation Lukwago yali abba ssente bamugulya ekiddiiro nabagaba basasule kozi company erife bo bennyini ababbi nga be bagitaddewo kakati Lukwago was arrested and taken to Kireka by that akuloma. When I heard about the information I was still in State House. I rang Kayihura. How can a permanent secretary be dragged to Kireka as a criminal? You first sack him. Kireka ranga akulu. A permanent secretary cannot be grilled at Kireka. By the time Kayihura moved in, it was 4 p.m. nga bamusiibizza Lukwago is alive. When Lukwago went back to his car, okujja open up, yalinako nga bigirisi bwebiti. N'abuuza driver we, have you washed the car? Ati nange bwe batuleese akulo nze yansibidde eno gwe naye akulo akulagidde ku nsi kuno kyonootaka mu jahanama kuba gwe oli wa jahanama
obusalidde
akulo wa jahanama
obuyinza bwa Mungu yasalawo
akulo wa jahanama ati gomeza nnyo abantu kaakati Lukwago okukwata ku bifuda bino byali poison nga busagwa bw'omusota guli Congo. When Lukwago entered his office he collapsed on the chair.
Kulebiri byakutteko.
Yes. His secretary Ranga Chireka. What have you done to my boss? An arrogant voice answered. Is he still alive? Are you sure? Is he still alive? That's Lukwago. Those are people he praised. That I come and interact with you. Would you interact with the grave? You wanted to switch off my programs. What if you succeeded? This man should go home and rot. I'm not rotting, but you have been humbled by ICC. Every time I watch them, nabalabye jjo nga beronda mwani asookayo. Bani abagenda kuba baloya babagambye mujje mulaga ICC nti muli weringi okugenda n'okudda. Nembalaba bwe beero. Ndio kanti kakidduba lyange nenzina humbled. Very humbled. The usual arrogant pharaohs have been humbled, humiliated to the bone marrow. Nenebaza Katonda nengenda mu kyaki yange nempayo ofatole kakati
wabaddeyo kikaliga kabuzi
nkugamba nti but I'm not saying properly those are sinto nkugamba nti Chidu and Saida Bumba on Tuesday 19th February 2012 while on my way to Kenya, on my way to Kisumu, I received several telephone calls. This was not unusual for many people calling me and this is Bulungi. Someone. Amaso
tegakyalaba.
Kakati somove wano. Otegeere bano kiwanuka baatu
Kiduma kubuya and Saida Bumba resignation.
Nabo bafere eggwanga.
On Thursday 19th
I sent a message to the Minister of Kampala, don't interfere. Leave Chiwanuka and his group to steal the money. They are still young. One day they will spend much of their time in inquiries and commissions.
Okay, yes. On Thursday 19th February 2012, while on my way to Kisumu, I received several telephone calls. This was not unique for many people calling me for several reasons. What surprised me was that all the phone calls were on one subject: resignation of Saida Bumba and Chidu Makube. Chidu had vowed not to throw in the towel because, according to him, he could defend whatever he did. His argument did not surprise me because he was using his legal microscope. This to me was not legal, it was really politics. Real politics does not mean telling the truth.
It was malice at play.
In many cases, our parliament operates on populism without regard to the law. Like Bumba, Chidu had committed several blunders. For example, immediately they were implicated in the scandal, they invoked the name of the president. This, however, created more trouble for them. The president had not directed them to any specified figure or amount. President Museveni had not cleared Basajja Balaba's billions because it was not his responsibility to compute the figure. Secondly, the practice of ministers to hide behind the president had failed in the Chogam scandal. Chogam scandal group had tried to drag the president in their mess, which backfired. It's amazing that Saida and Chidu repeated the same mistake. Secondly, the more important SAMPAC members were part of the FDC scheme to impeach the president in order to discredit him before the eyes of the public and to isolate him in the international community. They also want to incite Ugandans to overthrow this government. Therefore, ministers on the two occasions were encouraged by the PAC to implicate the president to serve FDC sinister moves. In fact, Parliament forced Saida and Chidu to resign unfairly because of the following reasons. One, argument is not that Basajja Bala was not entitled to any payment. No, Basajja Bala had a claim to compensation. Two, ministers had powers to approve payment what was at the dispute was the amount of money paid to Basajja Balaba. 3. Who should determine the figure? The Auditor General raised the query and said the money was much. Yes, let us assume that it was much. What was the actual that would be paid to Basajja Balaba? Arguing that Basajja Balaba should refund the money and that the minister paid him more than he was entitled to means that they paid beyond an agreed figure. What is this figure?
Yes. Kakati president we yalagira basasule babasajja balaba babasasula ba mugenyi babasasula bani. If these people who claim to have bought the tax park would have been paid in the same
mukumundi ewo nabali basasula ate mwana tumuno waro kanso
which means they will never bought
nino mburugwe nabali ne
not qualify
ava mu KCCA yagamye ate kati bali 14
anti
no
much one kwabata mutekemu details are there. Who knew
the compensation?
Who knew? Tujja kubala bakokabanga linga bakadeba batwala. When you are having a nice meal, do you remember at that time that you will need a toilet paper? Do you ask where this day they lock up the toilets? When you are having a nice meal, you ask for a fork, not a toilet. I sent a message to the Minister of Kampala. Don't bother. When these people want to take money, they will take it.
Okay.
Kakati the argument, following. Argument, to who evaluates payment.
The payments.
Payments are evaluated by two people. The government valuer,
yes,
and courts of law. But the problem with the Basajja Balaba is first to demand much money. The nguzi they gave is not countable. Toyiza genda nogamba gundi nogamba government valuer bano nabawe nguzi okumpa akatale. But the nguzi was there in billions. Yes. Nti enyumba tiyefunza je yali alwanira mu yali akolera omusajja omusuubuzi yagigula millions of dollars nazi wati yefunza.
Okay.
Kakati omusajja oyo kati is dead. Kakumba alowooza nti musisi muntu agende wa musamu gamba nti nyamba nawayo sente zange nyingi mugunde no committee eya State Council ekukkiriza okugula ne babadde changes wezijjiddewo gwojje babadde tebannamaliriza resolution.
Okay.
Kakati musisi namugamba nti omanyi nti yajja ne million 10,000 musiya mukwatirawo musale sedi kakumba ni million meka bisatu. Kakati naye nga Kakumba tayina resolution. State Council's committee etunda
teyamwa resolution
anti yali tanabagula bamalayo
yanesoko bagula
genda ogula ettaka lya Buganda Land Board olaba abataka bonna bwe baggwayo abalangira bonna bwe baggwayo
bono olina okubawa.
Yes. Kakati buying property in Uganda, the amount of money a businessman like Basajja Balaba spends okufuna obutale obwo togamba nti biri ku gundi ku meriti abawa
ashoka kubalisa bonna.
Kakati
tunula figure ya sasudde
the government value cannot include
how can compensation egenda kujjete mu matiza.
Era president waliwo ennyumba eri munda mu State House omugenzi mulowooza yali agiguze kati ne bagiteeka ku billion oba 9. President blocked the payment. Why? Akayumba kano kenda kano inside the State House bagenda omubadde ne bamugamba emyaka 12 that man was denied income yali tayingiramu because of security. We are not valuing the plot alone.
No. Time yevo bitumufiiriza.
When you agreed punitive measures. Kakati waliwo akayumba akalala ng'oyingira ku Kota Gadiokero House. Government yasasulako half. Naye nga bazannya Museveni bamunda. Ne bakola endagaano. Tikati emyezi 6 giggwako nga second payment tegeereddwa poteya era poteya.
Weewaawo bwe bijja betambula ensonga tubizigenda kubanga zitambula ebintu buli omu kati yamu buli.
Every country when you do international relations mu Uganda mulimu minister yasoma conflict resolution tebamuyitangako nakutawulula maka. When you do international relations, every country has interest to pursue beyond its borders.
Yes.
Every country has to do in many cases, what divides leaders does not normally affect the population. There is no problem with the Rwandese here. The Rwandese are known. How can you say that the Rwandese are being harassed in Uganda?
Bari harassed, bari makomera,
when even the word Masaka means Masaka is a Chinyarwanda word. Masaka.
Okay.
Can you do without Banyarwanda? I said most of the people who masquerade as Baganda, 40% of Baganda who claim Baganda have Chinyarwanda blood. So there is no way you can kill Munyarwanda here. The problem at times is with the elites, the elites. Those the government targets, others in many cases become victims. We are known by Banyarwanda. In fact, on my village, half of the village belongs to Barundi.
Nimze tabali bogamba bwotyo ngenda ko kana muko nawe. Katuje kutuje mu bwa jano kayihura. Kale kayihura waliwo ensonga yatambulanga. Waliwo bali bakotanga mnyane babaziza. Kagame byayogerako.
I told you ndisangani temujimanyi. The battle of Kisangani will never unite Rwanda and Uganda.
And okay.
I want to tell you.
Obuzibu vaawo.
Yes. The battle. And the Kisangani. I told you that Rwanda planted imperialism in your heads. That everybody, when you have a problem with Rwanda, I want somebody to tell me, apart from being suffering from imperialism, you give me an item in your house made in Rwanda.
Sigirina.
We would be more concerned by Kenya.
By Kenya. Sigirina ye Rwanda. Nadi nedda. Why we are concerned? No. Why we are concerned? Market yaffe. Kati katale kaffe. Fe tusinga okubawa.
You must understand. Until recently, there has been how many times has Eritrea gone to war with Ethiopia? Zenawi and Afeki fought together. This is why Eritrea has sent forces to reinforce Ethiopian army. And it tells you that this man you see in Addis Ababa is not a fool. He first normalized relationship with the Eritrea.
Okay.
Opened the border. He knew this. Immediately, these rebels threatened the security of Ethiopia. Eritrean troops went in.
Okay.
Which did not please the Americans. The Americans condemned that is widening the war. I think also Egypt must be involved.
Okay.
Because they were angered by the Ethiopian dam. The issue is there. But what I'm telling you, at one time, Ethiopia and Eritrea were using one currency. Why did they fight? Sovereignty. I always give you an example. I grew up in my brother's home, but he does not give me directives. Even when they have, there's a function at his. He rings me and informs me. Kakati muhabaddugavu. America gives much money to Israel than it collects. But there's a strong lobby in America, the Jewish lobby. But does America always give Israel directives?
No.
Yes, they disagree because these are independent states.
Yes, but
this is you. Why you people? Once you base a friendship, a country's relationship with another country, on the friendship between the two leaders, your faith. You look what Kenya can politics. Raila Odinga will fight with Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm telling you what happened to Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. Because Kenyatta believes that is going to use the
friendship.
The Kabila example. Let me control the parliament. Let me control the Senate. And remain active. Because this man is coming from Jubilee. He's not coming from Jubilee. Yeah. The Kikuyus are saying, because of the handshake, this man demonstrated that he supported, stabilized the Kenyatta government. But the problem is is Raila going to become Moi okufata nyoyo ya Kenyatta? You look at the character of Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga would like to stamp his foot on the Kenyan politics. He has not been part of government.
Yes.
Has been in the sideline. The person who would give Kenyatta security would be Ruto. Why? Ruto would be saying, give me the next 5 years or 10 to consolidate what we have achieved. But now, Ruto disassociates himself from the achievements of the government.
Okay.
Raila cannot inherit the failures because if he has come for the voters are divided into two. Those who have come to change and those who have come to consolidate. But where does Raila Odinga come in?
Change.
He's coming for change.
Yes.
Not to
consolidate. Yes. He's coming for change.
The two people are going to conflict because Uhuru's security is to remain active and he's young. They look right with Raila Odinga. When Raila Odinga was appointed the Minister of Works, he demolished the illegal buildings belonging to the Kikuyus. He even forced the government to there's a forest called the Kole Forest in Nairobi. Mayumba gone yakakubamo. Uganda obubi. Amawanga gamwe mugabesinga ku relationship.
Twali naffe ono munnaffe twanyifenna.
Ignore the relationship. Are hunting down in Rwandese? You see Ugandans, but no Uganda move vehicle. They are very mature people.
Yes.
Unless a Ugandan is incited, Ugandans are very
mature. Bino byawule. Banna Uganda n'abakulembeza batutwala. Kagame is not blaming Ugandans.
Bachina abatira abantu malwale ne batwala organizer. Have Ugandans started chasing away Chinese?
President is not blaming Ugandans. He's blaming the establishment, the leadership.
Yes. Kakati fete kitukwatako.
Chitukosa. Tuna bagana bakolera e Rwanda. Basobola okusubula na.
The two of you cannot tell you. You are like a children. When you are in a family, you find mbagamba bulijjo. Teoyinza okukyali wa mukoddomyo. Nakuwa enkoko n'akola ki? Ogenda okuya ekiro ng'empisi buga mu kisenge. Wali wakubulya ekibalwanya. Ansiseko bulangiti yayimpowadde kiro. They cannot tell you. Children cannot be told what their children, their parents are fighting for. Okay. They cannot know. That's why Senga comes in. For public relations, President Kagame will tell you this. And the president is in the practice of keeping quiet. He's older than Kagame.
Okay.
Kakati, the issue is we cannot understand the real problem.
How can this be solved? Solving a talk relations is being what should be done? You can
choose your friends, but relatives, but you cannot choose your neighbors. Uganda and Rwanda will remain in the same places.
Yes.
Unless one captures the other. So what do you see? Coexisting. But Rwanda is also strategic. As you plan to isolate it by constructing roads in Congo, as you try to, it goes to Tanzania. Your pipeline is not moving.
Yeah.
It's becoming
the gauge rail is also not moving.
Yes. And if without Rwanda's consent, are you going to your presence in Congo will be very expensive?
Okay.
Yes. Because for me, the information I have, and I'm internationally informed, NATO wanted to deploy, to put soldiers in Congo. Or they're negotiating with the Kenyan soldiers, the Kenyan government, out of their experience in Somalia. Yes.
Okay.
And I told you, when you boyogera ne nshikedi, ali mu shadows nga kabira yafuga, atenge ebyapa by'ababirigi, gwagenda okukola yendagaano ebyapa byani. Again, have you talked to the right person?
A question again,
it's only at one time, Singapore invested, had factories in China after negotiation. But China is very strategic. At one time, before people were rejecting China, had not trust in Chinese goods. Chinese goods would go as made in Taiwan or Singapore until they are made their own. So relationship depends on maturity. Maturity. They are like families. You cannot. Nobody will ever tell you the problems between the President Kagame and President Museveni. Nobody will tell it. And the two of them cannot reveal it.
But
there are certain things that the population cannot understand.
Mzee Tamale, abasawo batadde wansi ebikola.
I have children who are medical doctors.
Batadde wansi ebikola bakoye okuba nti babasuubiza.
They are problems.
Kyebasuubiza tekijja, bikasa tekijja.
They are problems.
Bagala efeebya ebirenge ebikolebwako. Bafune ku mayumba.
I strongly doubt whether it is a genuine strike by doctors. Yes. I know the hallmarks of the mafias.
Mzee Tamale, era nibino kinekyo kirimu mafia? Omusawo bagala kuba ndamwongeza ku musaala.
Why does it?
President yagesa directive.
You see, I told you.
Muliza Mzee Tamale. President yagesa directive n'agamba nti buli musawo yenna aweebwa omulimu.
I told you.
Tebituukirizibwa.
I told you.
Bongezebwa omusaala tebiriiwo.
I told you. May I look at the hallmarks of the mafia.
Okay.
Mafias strike, engineer strikes in education at the time when children are going to school or they are about to do their exams. As a trade unionist, I know you strike when you will be ferret. Bwe badda mu ssomero bayinciting abasomesa. Bwe baba ng'ebigezo bigenda kukolebwa bayinciting abasomesa. Yes, to pressurize the parents. Two, there is a build-up nga bwe nakugambye. Bwe baba banaasuma ng'akabinja kano kanaasuma. Katumwebaze yagenze waffe mbw atwale Sango Bay mugenda kusimbawo binazi tujja kubitwala Sango Bay si wammwe
Sango Bay
si wammwe ebinazi sisa bifunyeemu ki baakuba kasolo laba baakuba kasolo abule waayogerera teki bana basajja mbamanyi bamukuba kubwe mupi ne baleeta atayogera
aleme kulwanira kifeeki
aleme kulwanira Sango Bay ne bayinstallingawo ono guno ne balwanyisa kasolo nekisekulo bali omuntu omu chairman wa 5 ne babatabula
ne babawula bayagala okuyisaawo
Sango Bay
ninge babalanya abasajja
tumwebaze ebizibu byoyina tumwebaze. You have so many challenges. I don't expect that this is the time tumwebaze to add on Sango Bay. If you are looking for money, look it somewhere else.
Okay.
They build up.
Okay.
I told you, if I was in intelligence, in intelligence services, I would have warned the government. Why do you publish scandals in government?
In government.
20 billion allocated, 50 billion stolen, 90 billion this. Kakati, gundi yalagawa. Yali afusenga gundi.
Era fusanga.
Ono gwe yayimba simanyi kyaki ono gundi. Ono gundi. Magezi abadde asaba billions zinga zigaba parishes. Where is the money on the parish level?
Parish model
ziriwa the impact ng'omugagga omu agenda ku kyalo n'agula omwenge n'abatamiiza impact ya billions zizo ziriwa. So all of these scandals in the media are intended to incite. When I read the scandals
omusawo alaba scandals zitambula.
Yes,
whenever
I read the stories of scandals in your media, I know the mafias are at play. The mafias are at play. This is why the government, I think, has not come out for compensation. Those who are injured. Baba de batandise bibino November bullets.
39 victims killed.
Memorial service. Ani ekikoze
Bobi Wine.
Yes, to remember these people.
Nedda
bategeeza Museveni nti this thing has been running for a long time. Tebasasulwanga. This is an issue of not solved. Kyobula katuni emusekerera nesekerera ne bali omunsi. Kati bali omunsi olwobutamanya mawulire yabakubidde abamonisa n'abeebaza n'okwebaza nga katuni emwambudde empale ne mukamaawe.
Bakoze omulimu omulungi.
Once you see scandals of billions, when would somebody go on a strike? Somebody would have gone on a strike during COVID. When they lacked the essential, natuukako okubuuza abaana bange ne mbabuuza ti ekyambalo ekyo mugenda kufa babibya mubigula mmeka? Tibigula $220, $100 mmeka? Naye ndoza $220 naye okutuusa Britain yagaa nti babiddamu nimbaga mugule $500. Yes.
Okay.
If they do not strike during COVID, when their lives were at stake. Let this woman call me a drunkard as if from his brother. But akili yangu akili sana, akili rasmi, akili kwa Kiswahili tunasema akili rasmi na akili ya bara. Akili ya bara hiyo akili ya chalo. Kiswahili kichwa yangu kichwa rasmi. I don't believe I've not been elevated by privileges or nepotism. Everywhere I have been is my capacity, and I've never applied in my life to a job. And at 50, because I'm celebrating 50 years on Saturday, at 50, that I can write an application form. At 50, to me, for me, to write, at 50, to write that I need a job. Those who are privileged, you are privileged, but don't insult us. Don't think that we meandered into State House. Don't think the problem you are facing and your friends is that you are facing a character like me for the first time.
Okay.
Tebalabanga ku muntu atajogebu. Kyovulaba nti mbalimi okusolovinga. Okay. Let us keep him, he will come kneeling way to enter heaven. Kneeling way.
Mzee Tamale, tumalize ne
So I tell you, nti what the first insight the Baganda call it okusereza erigenda wa emugga. Nti anybody will feel aggrieved. Sente meka kakati bagenda kuwulira nti kiri owalagidde biliyoni zebasasula abasajja ababbi. Anabaali awo kiri owalagidde basasula owino ebyobubbi obwere.
But Minister of Health yayewa obuwumbi 100 mu budget.
Yes, and you see these people, as I told you, why is it that the strike follows the scandal surrounding oyo omukazi Museveni? Mbamanyi nnyo.
Scandal eri kino.
And Museveni came up and defended, which is correct. Nakalema naye najjayo omutwe. I'm being taken to court. You be taken to court. Would you like it to be taken to the toilet? If your office is illegal, court will uphold it. They have a danger. Nakalema is also decorated. How many decorated people we have?
Okay.
Unaina charagau. Yes.
Tumazene chino. East African Parliament.
Unaina charagau. Don't jump on her gund. Gulaga watch.
Okay.
All of the people you have arrested have been released by court of law. Even if they recognize Nakalema is a mere aide of the president who has been assigned. The people, the institution that are mandated to this work, side D is the IGG and what it again. So he's an assistant, he's a panado. Nakalema is a panado, he's not a chua. Panado.
Mzee Tamale, tumazene n'ensonga. East African Committee yagala kuba nti esala ku babaka abakiikirira abagenda mu parliament ya EAR. Abaga egamba nti budget egenda ku staff ku parliament eyoka 35% revenues ez'omukago zazigenda mu kulwaninga parliament eyo entula zaayo kusasula misaala baga baka bave ku mwenda badde ku batano buli nsi.
For you, even if you take a 10, what has been your impact? Speaker mwamujjako bateekako n'omulala. Women are quarreling over men because they are seeing men with money for the first time in the East African community. You take your wabuvuyo to the East African community. The problem is not how many people, but how have you benefited? How have you benefited? Nti gundi ambassador, the late ambassador aneni yayina ekifo kye Rwanda bwe yajja nani omulala ne bakikutula mu bisatu. Upapajjo. The money came back. The issue is not representation. No. This is an experiment. I strongly doubt because a federation touches creating of a new government and surrendering your sovereignty.
Yes.
A new created government. This is where the puzzle is going to be. Like in Kenya, they can come and say we are Pentagon people, but once it comes to choose one presidential candidate, they split.
Okay.
This is an experiment. And all countries, member countries, saw it as an extension of the civil service. nti ono bamuwagende ono bamuwagende
Okay.
at one time Kusasira was interested in going to the because they're seeing it as another office. Nedda. She's correct.
No.
There are people like, who worse than Kusasira who have gone there.
She's qualified.
Yes.
No.
Tinjagala tufune profile ey'ababaka bava mawanga mala n'abafu. Profile.
Ababaka bava mu Sindala n'abafune baffe Uganda
wa.
What think?
Yes, nti agudde mu kubwe mu pia yagala agende atwaleyo bali abantu be mu bakuganya ate obusiru bw'obutwali mu gundi. These people who are diplomats. People who know international relations.
Bawenga mukwano gwaffe wano Dr. Dean yoye musajja olaba qualification zazirina
nti once you are sending bwe kibanga muyina an intelligence council you take there your best.
Yes.
This one we are asking lwaki Kibulu akyusizza ate
akyusizza spring
under the environment conditions. You look at him. Ayinza okubanga in the face of the Islamic gundi bano they need a vibrant man or not a vibrant man. Ono gundi abadde
musajja abadde musirisi
musajja weraka yiwafu gundi oyo is a humble man. How can you move to come and participate in a panel a TV talk show?
Sigala kubanga nsoko agenda kuba mberekereza